Hey guys, so it's time for the video you have been waiting for. It's gonna be time to compare the new Samsung Galaxy S3 versus HTC One X and hear a little bit my own opinions and what I think about this. So, Samsung Galaxy S3 GTI 9300 got announced today on the Samsung Unpacked event in London, May the 3rd over here. And the first thing, before you start to watch this video, there's actually not that extremely big difference between these two phones. Um, and okay, let's begin. Okay, they start off with the 2G, 3G network, 4G network. Seems like both going to be LTE variants in some places. The HTC One X and the Galaxy S3. If you go down here, the dimensions. The Galaxy S3 is a little bit thinner than the HTC One X, 8.6 instead of 8.9. But what's interesting here to see it is that it is the Galaxy S2 with 1.5 millimeters, so it's slightly thicker. The HTC One X wins here on the weight, 3 grams less. And speaking there about the body and the build quality, I definitely do believe that this is clearly a winner for the HTC One X because it just feels amazing. Okay, it feels amazing. But I could talk more about the ergonomics, that I think that the Galaxy S3 is going to be better for this and it's gonna feel nicer and everything. So let's go ahead and go down here. The display. Okay, so both are running on 1280p, or I mean 720p displays. Super AMOLED on the Galaxy S3 here, 306 ppi. We didn't see this 1080p display that BGR was talking about, and we didn't see a new Super AMOLED Plus HD display. It's still Super AMOLED display as you would get on the the Galaxy S2 HD LTE variant, I think. So it's that pentile screen that some people don't like. But I mean, it's up to you. That is what you're gonna get on the Samsung Galaxy S3. On the HTC One X, you're gonna get the Super IPS LCD 2 capacitive touchscreen. That's also amazing. Also comes there with 720p resolution of the screen, 4.7 inch on the HTC One X, a tiny bit bigger on the Galaxy S3 here, 4.8 inch. Okay, so both running also on protection Gorilla Glass. Of course, you're gonna get the new redesign like TouchWiz UI that really did look amazing on the Galaxy S3. On the HTC One X, you're gonna get HTC's latest Sense 4.0. If you go down to sound, very boring. Speaking about the memory here, this is something that I really did like about the new Samsung Galaxy S3. You can still use a micro SD slot. You can't do that on the HTC One X, so you can't expand the memory on the HTC One X over there. So a 64GB micro SD card. That's pretty awesome. If you go down to internal HTC One X versus the Galaxy S3 here, it also seems like the clearly winner is the Galaxy S3. Comes in 16, 32, and 64GB variants. The HTC One X will come with the 32GB variant, but then you also get Dropbox cloud storage. But not many people, not everyone likes it. But still, that's a lot of space, 26GB. So it becomes around 50GB that you can get max on the HTC One X, while you can get around at least double on the Galaxy S3, like a 120GB at least, if you max it out with the biggest boy, 64GB, and use the micro SD card slot. So I really do like that you're gonna get the micro SD card slot still, and I also have a micro SD card slot I got today, like 2GB, so I can just smack that in very easily and everything. One thing that really did get me disappointed here about the new Galaxy S3, and this is the same specs on the HTC One X and the Galaxy S3, is that they're both running on 1GB of RAM. I mean, I can see myself when I'm using my Galaxy Note to max it up around 700 megabytes a lot of times. So I really want to see that 2GB RAM there. But yeah, same over there. If you go ahead and go down to speed, should it be about the same? Wi-Fi should be the same, yes. Bluetooth, yes, on both, version 4.0. NFC on both, yes. Infrared port, none on both. And the USB, micro USB on both. And if you go ahead and go down to the camera is 8 megapixels on both, same resolution. And but you can take both video and take pictures with the HTC One X. I think in the new Galaxy S3 that you also can do that. They include a new burst mode in the Galaxy S3, but I also think that's available for the HTC One X. So it's really going to be interesting to compare those two cameras. Video should be 1080p at 30 frames per second on both. But the thing is that I've had so many issues with the HTC One X only getting around 23 FPS with the new HTC software update. In the beginning I got 19 FPS, so it's going to be fun to see what I get on the Galaxy S3. On the rear facing camera here, the 2 megapixel on the Galaxy S3, you're going to get 1.3 on the HTC One X. If you talk about the Android version, you're going to get the latest Android version on the new Galaxy S3 version 4.0.4. You're gonna get 4.0.3 probably on the HTC One X. If you talk about the chipset as well, the Exynos 4212 a quad, that's what you're gonna get on the new Galaxy S3. You're gonna get the NVIDIA Tegra 3 platform with like an extra companion core on the HTC One X, and from the benchmarking scores that I've seen, the Exynos 4212 should smack NVIDIA Tegra 3's ass over here, gaining around 20 to around like 20 to 30 20 to 30% better in different benchmarking comparisons. CPU is going to be the quad-core 1.4 GHz Cortex, still based on the old Cortex A9 here. We're going to have the Cortex A15 here, probably maybe even late this year here, but still quad-core 1.4 GHz Cortex A9 with the Exynos 4212, a quad-core 1.5 GHz on the HTC One X. Yeah, the winner here is probably gonna be the Galaxy S3 from what I've seen in leaked benchmarking comparisons and stuff. Still the Melee 400 on the Galaxy S3 here, but that it's so much higher clocked, so it would perform at least like 50% better and stronger than the GPU on the Galaxy S2. But I think that if you overclock the Galaxy S2's GPU, you can get the same performance as you will get on the new Galaxy S3. But then of course you won't get the new chipset as you're gonna get on the new Galaxy S3, and you're gonna get the ULP GeForce GPU on the HTC One X. But I think both these two phones gonna max out every single game that's out for Android right now, so I'm not really sure if you're gonna see a big difference over there. But if you're specs horny and on these things, on the CPU and GPU, I think that the Galaxy S3 is gonna be the winner over there. If you go down here, the battery is another one that's very, very interesting here. Oh yeah, the colors also gray and white in the HTC One X, and blue and white on the Galaxy S3. Kind of fun. None of these two phones went with the black color. Gray and white on the HTC One X, as I said there, and the blue and white on the Galaxy S3. If you talk about the battery here, something that I got kind of happy when I saw that you get 2100 milliamps on the Galaxy S3, and that you get only 1800 milliamps on the HTC One X. So yeah, I like that. Samsung has been talking about that they want to improve a better battery life, so it's going to be nice if it will now have a 300 more milliamps than the HTC One X, and hopefully we'll be able to perform better, even though the quad core on this chipset Exynos 4212 that Samsung is using doesn't have this companion core that the NVIDIA Tegra 3 is using. So I'm not sure which one's going to have the best battery, but if you only look at the battery, how many milliamps, and 300 milliamps, that is not extremely small amount. So I would say that the Galaxy S3 is going to be the winner over here. Of course, right now the HTC One X is a little bit cheaper, but I don't think the price is going to differ that much on these two phones. Overall, I would say that it's not that much of a big difference between these phones. It just depends on what you want, and overall I think if you add all of these things up, I think that HTC One X biggest strongest attack it could do against the Galaxy S3 is gonna be the build quality, but then I haven't felt on the new Galaxy S3, and we do know that the new Galaxy S3 is gonna come here in the late May the 29th, one day after my birthday. It's gonna be available in Europe, and then in June it's gonna be available in the States. And I do know that you in the States use like the AT&T HTC One X, but I think these two are kind of similar. But I mean, as I said, it's not that of a big difference between these two phones. But it will be fun to see, like when I can get my hands on these devices and really do a hardcore comparison, camera, how it feels. And also speaking about the body, what I didn't say here, yeah, better build quality on HTC One X, but I think with these new sexy curves, and I've been talking about this a lot, that I want to see more curves. I think that the Galaxy S3 is gonna win there in better ergonomics, because if you look at those pictures that they've added on the sides of the phone, it's so much more curved than the Galaxy S3, and I do know that the Galaxy Note is very much curved, and it feels better than holding the HTC One X, because the HTC One X has kind of like a design that looks kind of cool. Okay, it looks pretty cool, and it's probably gonna look better than the Galaxy S3 when you put them down. But when you hold it, it has this kind of pointing outwards design. This may just be me that feel this, but it feels like it's gonna feel better and everything to hold the Galaxy S3. Even though I don't get this thing that they did with on the Galaxy S3. If you look over the home button, you can see that they have like a area there where it's totally blank. You know, it looks like it's too big of an area where they don't do anything. But yeah, that's my only complaint there about the design, and that they probably would be able to include some better materials. But as I said, I haven't felt on the design myself. I haven't felt on the phone, so I can't really tell you my opinion right now. But I'm probably gonna be able to pick this device up here pretty soon. It's probably gonna be in the beginning of June or something. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Leave your opinions down below if you want to, and don't hate too much. Okay. Have a good day, everyone. Bye bye.